to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call has Nancy, Bob, Robert. In my mind,
Brian.
Brian. We're all here. Nick's
Except
not here. Except for Nick. Okay, so this is a budget document for public review at this point in time. Do we have, somebody wants to speak to the public today on the budget? Is that correct? Or is this on the regular part of the meeting? We have a Ken. Okay. Would you like to speak now?
For the regular part of the meeting.
It's about the marina.
Okay, so we'll wait till we'll be getting, okay. So are there any other comments from the public online or here in the room on the budget?
You could mention we do have the budget document available.
Yeah, the budget document is available. We have one copy here, but we can get copies for anyone that wants it. Very easy.
It's also in the agenda packet online.
Yeah.
Currently, and it will be its own standalone document as well.
Yeah. Okay, so if there are no comments from the public, I will adjourn this meeting. Is there any reason why not? No. Okay, well, we will go on next to the regular meeting, and we'll call this meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda for this meeting? The audience? Okay, comments from the public.
Come on up, sir.
It's your turn.
We didn't do a consent agenda.
Right here.
We will.
Just state your name for the record and comment away.
My name's Ken Seeger. I've been a tenant of the marina for many years now. The last 3 boathouses that were built in your marina, I did them. And so I helped upgrade the marina. And I'm curious as to why the third party management is being thrown out there. This is the first I heard of it when I got an email yesterday. But my question kind of is that there are ways that person can bring the maintenance factor down by the boats that go in and out of there, particularly the guide boats lately, don't seem to like to obey the slow speed limit. Guide boats are allowed to make a business in the marina, and the rest of us are day-to-day tenants that we might come down 1 week, 1 month. Through the winter, we come down, do the maintenance on the boathouses and things like that. But your guide boats are there every day, day in, day out. They're bringing customers in and out of there. They are showing them bad examples in many cases. And then the people come in with their own boats and do the same thing. When they leave a wake that's over 8 foot tall, that damages your docks, boathouses, and all that. And that increases your maintenance fees. And they're making business and costing you money in maintenance. I've sat there and watched it. Sometimes when we're doing maintenance on the boathouses, we spend a day or 2 days there cleaning and doing that sort of thing. And not only does the wake just hit the boathouse, by the time it's through and we have it open, the wake goes clear through and hits the front of a 40-foot well. Well, that's too fast. And nothing, I mentioned to marshal, I've mentioned to the sheriff, I've mentioned to, and I've mentioned to the guides themselves, sometimes they don't take that very well when you decide that, hey, it makes them look bad in front of their customers. And as it should, because customers then know that's not what to do. And I'm not just picking on the guides because other people do it as well, but when you have professionals that are doing it, and I've watched survey boats from the state of Oregon come in and do the same thing. I mean, there's nobody in the marina. Just because there's nobody there doesn't mean that the wake doesn't do the damage 24/7. Whenever it comes in, the wake is what's costing maintenance. And somehow that needs to be controlled. I don't know if in most places, too fast to in a wake zone is like a $1,500 fine. And if a couple of those were issued, it may, the word get out that, hey, stop it. And I understand that that's part of the issues that the maintenance, the marina is expensive. The marina doesn't pay the bills. And the parking lot's small. On busy days, there isn't enough parking, but the guide pays his one mortgage fee and 6 other people come in as clients and sometimes more. And there's 6 more parking places taken for that one particular person. And so do they need to, when you rent out a spot to a guide, does there need to be some regulations that says, hey, do they need to, because they're running a business in your marina? Should that be the same fee as everyone else? I know that when I ran commercially and everything else, anytime you had something commercial, they pay more fees. Commercial pays more fees. A commercial, I mean, you go anywhere and it costs more because they're making money doing it. There are, I can't count how many there are out there. You guys know how many are down there because you have the records, but I see a lot of them. So there's something to help situation. I have seen, I also have people that are in other marinas that have third-party maintenance fees and or people maintaining it. And the rates go nothing but up because they got to make money too. And so Scappoose Bay Marina has been attractive because the rates are right. I was going to buy into another marina, but I didn't because Scappoose Bay Marina was a good place to be. But if the rates go up, I'll take the 3 boats houses I built and move out. Because then it will no longer be effective to stay. That's year-round income. Just for instance, last 2 weeks ago, the maintenance to replace a board in a third-party maintained dock was $120 a board is what they got charged to replace one of the deck boards. They replaced a bunch of them, and the cost was $120 a board per deck board on the third-party marina. Now, that's what you would be looking at when you jump into people that do that sort of thing. The prices go up for it, not down. If you can conserve and not do as much damage, we might not have to replace as much stuff. Yes, you have a certain amount of things that do rot out. So that's catch 22.
Okay.
Mr. Seeger, I'd be happy to talk to you offline about the privatization prospect. It's something we're considering, and I'd be happy to give more information to you after.
Yeah, I think we're taking more money through it.
It's very interesting. Yeah, we definitely want to pursue your knowledge.
And so I say, it's a great place. And I'd like to keep it that way.
Yes, that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I passed right over the consent agenda. We need,
Move to adopt consent agenda, items A, B, and maybe C.
I did not see anything in there for me. If there is, I have a financial stake in Clatts County Builder Supply, but I don't believe there's anything in there.
Okay, consent agenda A, B, and C.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Okay, old business, marina update.
Morning, Commissioners. As you are aware, as just evidenced by Mr. Seeger's comments, we are in the process of evaluating the privatization proposal. Currently, we are in the process of doing the due diligence and providing a bunch of information for Mr. Etro to be able to access on our portal, our SharePoint. And there's a lot of information there. So, and we're also going to do a dock walk with Mr. Etro and Clint. I want to make sure he sees all of the things and hears from Clint on some of the stuff that, we're tracking. So as we look to find and define what is capital versus maintenance as part of any agreement that may come up. So that's forthcoming. And Peter,
When is the dock walk?
we don't have it scheduled yet.
Okay,
Would you like to know about it?
I'd just like to be aware. Yeah.
Soon. We'll do it soon for sure.
Okay.
Probably not next week though, because I'll be in Newport for PNWA summer. But yeah, we'll get him out there and do that walk with Clint. So that'll be important for him to see some of that specific things that some of the safety stuff. But like I said, we're trying to figure out what's maintenance versus capital for any agreement that does get proposed. So more to follow on that.
Okay, airport update.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right.
I don't see any bruises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have a slideshow. Just some photos that I took this week. So I'm going to provide you with a brief update about the runway rehabilitation project. I can report that as of Monday morning, the runway is officially closed and constructions activities are underway. This marks a major milestone after months of planning, coordination, design, permitting, grants, outreach to our tenants and users. NOTAM, closing the runway is active for the 90 days. It is shutting down the electrical ILS and the runway. So our one thing to note is our beacon is down. So that's important. We'll look for that line. So we are down. Over the next several weeks, we'll see construction activity increase as the rehabilitation work progresses. Slide. So there they are yesterday on the, I think that would be Alpha 3 taxiway connector. They have ripped out PAPIs, so much edge lighting. The electrical team, Northeast Electric, is just gangbusters out there. Just ripping out huge pieces of concrete, and it's incredible how fast they've gone. As with any large project, though, the weather and unforeseen field conditions can impact the schedule, but as of 3 days in, we are on track. I also want to recognize the amount of coordination that has gone into this. I have worked very closely with the engineering team, contractors, FAA representatives, our Flight Standard District Office out of Hillsborough, tenants, users, local stakeholders to prepare for this closure and minimize as much as I can out there. As I mentioned, the runway is closed. The airport is not closed. There's been a lot of activity out on the aprons and the taxiways. And yesterday we had the 304th Rescue Squadron out of Portland, the Air Force Rescue Squadron out of Portland, come and do some training. And I posted a video, Lindsay posted a video online about that. So
Training for what?
rescues.
But how do they do that?
They're on a helicopter, they're in a Black Hawk. So they had, they were roping down and going back up, and they were doing pattern work. And at the north end, they were not on the runway, the grass field. Slide. So here's a few more pictures. It's really kind of anticlimactic. You can see some orange fencing. It will be, it is not all the way installed yet, but it will go the perimeter of the runway adjacent to the taxiways. Yeah, they are just working along. You could see in the southeast facing picture, there's an area where they had dug out the PAPI lights. And now that is just a giant hole in the ground. Just it's like dirt right now, but as of now, it's a giant hole. So I just want to also mention that T-hanger rent abatement, the program that I set up, it was 1 month opportunity for people to apply for rent abatement. We had an application online, they had to submit flight logs, and then I would double check them through a flight tracker app that we have. We had 45 people apply and 43 approved. We had a couple people apply that don't fly much or ever anymore. So those were tough conversations, but that amounted in, that was up to about $17,000 in rent abatement for our T-hanger tenants. But I do want to point out, and I think this has gone, I want to focus on the good of this project. We've gotten a lot of negative commentary. A lot of people are inconvenienced, and I want to point out that this is one of the most significant projects the port has undertaken in recent years. And once complete, the rehabilitation will improve our pavement conditions, enhance our safety, increase operational reliability, and position the airport for growth and economic opportunity. This project also demonstrates the confidence the state and the federal funding partners have in the airport and the long-term value, bringing outside investment directly into Scappoose and into the port community and port district. We should be very proud of what is being accomplished here. And the project not only preserves critical transportation asset in Scappoose at the airport, but also creates opportunity for future development, business attraction, aviation activity, and the community benefit. And the improvements being made will serve pilots, businesses, emergency services, and the port for decades to come. So please, I would love for our vision to kind of shift a little bit. And let's remember that this is a very large project that benefits one of our properties. And again, well convenient. It is a good thing. Next slide. Questions?
Strange question for you, but when the project is complete, I'd like to see if we could fly it.
If what?
We could fly it, if we could get a pilot to
Yeah.
flight, and
Okay.
it's been a long time since I've seen it from the air, and I think with the improvements it'd be,
I think it will be great too.
sure others would like to go.
We can certainly make that happen. Thank you.
There, so.
We have Mr. Nelson here.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Status of our projects, all of our budgets are approved internally. So everybody within Lignetics has bought off on the projects. We've started the demo of the equipment we're moving here. Bringing equipment from 2 other sites, the bag house project. And we are going to be installing the transformer later this month. So that's part of the 3 pieces that we're putting in between the bag house, the transformer, and the hammer mill. They all need to work together. So moving forward with that, hoping to have some of the pieces of the bag house delivered this month as well. So we are still waiting on final approval, but we've submitted a notice to construct to DEQ. So there's nothing stopping us from bringing everything in and starting to put the pieces together. We just can't connect until we have that final approval. Project's moving forward and happy it is.
Do you have any idea when the final approval will be?
I don't know about that, but we think we'll have everything put together within a couple of months on our side, so. And then,
Months it'll take?
yeah, to reassemble everything
Gotcha.
in the ductwork, so. And then the final hookup will just be like a day or two, because we'll have everything pre-plumbed in and ready to go
When did you say the transformer was going to be installed?
in 2 weeks. Schedule that with the PUD and electrical contractors, then we've got a couple other projects we're piling in while we'll be down for a couple of days for that, so. Thank you. That's a good question. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some new business, resolution 2617, maintaining the port tax.
Mind if I sit, I'm going to sit in for Guy here this morning. He's not here. So as you know, we are have a resolution on there to maintain the port tax ahead of the approving the budget, the next agenda item. If you have any questions about the resolution or not.
Any questions? I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution 2026-17.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Me?
You're so reluctant.
Okay, resolution 2026-18, adopting the fiscal year 2026-27 budget.
Commissioners, as you know, we've gone through the legal process of the budget, had the appropriate budget meetings and notices sent out, and the budget committee, as you know, and as you're part of, approved the budget to come forth to you folks, and now it's your turn.
Would move approval, resolution 2026-18, unless there's questions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Resolution 2026-19, airport grant. That report.
Yes, authorizing the executive director to execute a grant agreement for the East Side pavement maintenance for $9,271. Any questions?
I move approval of resolution 2026-19.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Unanimously. 2026-20. Approval of the port employee handbook.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This resolution is for approval of the new port employee handbook, which has been a long and interesting process. The previous handbook was sort of I might call it a piecemeal process of just putting together and adding things over years. So it was felt that we needed to really take a look around at different sources and create a more modernized version that's easier to use. It has hyperlinks, all these kinds of things. So we benefited from a couple of revisions with the special districts. They have a model template, so I kind of worked off that. And what that will do is for revisions in the future, they send out annual updates, so we'll be able to plug those in, save staff time and resources with that. And then we also, during this time, looked at other cities and counties for examples. Our executive team had a bunch of meetings where we talked about it. And then we also brought it to the employees, and we had a meeting with the employees and had them provide input as well. And so what you have is a new modernized version of the employee handbook. It's probably twice the size of the old one. It's about 50 pages longer, but there's just a lot of things in there that I think were missing in the previous version that are now in this handbook. Any questions?
Yeah, moving forward, I think it was interesting that there were no commissioners involved in this. And I think that's something we're all interested in. I certainly spent a lot of time going through this, and it's a very well organized document and it's very professional. It's very lawyerly. And I do have some questions because there were some things that I found to be confusing to me. For instance, the FMLA and the OFLA, we are not a part of because we don't have enough employees to qualify. Instead, employees can use the PLO. And I read through that process and it seems really complicated. Am I right? Is that a very complicated system?
Well, I haven't used it myself, but seeing other people go through it, it seems like it, I would say that it's not as complicated as you would think because it's all dealt with by the Oregon Employment Department and everything is online. So they have this website called Francis Online where people can go and deal with everything there. I think from a staff it depends on if you're talking about the employee or
I'm talking about the employee.
I think from the port perspective, it seems like it can be hard to manage what they call intermittent paid leave. So when they're not just gone all the time, where it's bits and pieces, 8 hours here, 8 hours there, that can be a lot harder to manage. For the employee perspective, all the folks that have done it, there's been a few people that have gone through it and
That was
yeah.
good. Okay, because that was my question. Have we ever had anybody use it?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, and that's our only option, right? We can't there's no other shortcut that we can use to make it less onerous.
We do have a short-term disability and long-term disability, but the way things work now is that the paid leave Oregon is the best option for the employee and the port.
Okay. One other thing was, it mentioned the on-the-spot recognition award. And I remember hearing about that some time ago. Who gets it? Do we make this part of our public information? Because I think it's pretty cool and I don't recall hearing anybody receiving it.
Yeah, I've limited it to our quarterly staff updates when we get together to tell it to the staff. But if you'd like, I could definitely bring those to the public.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's a wonderful idea. And it'd be fun to know who's being recognized. And then I have one kind of just a question about wording that is used. And in the process for lactation accommodation, it refers to the qualifying child's birth. What does a child need to do to qualify?
I'd have to get back to you on that one. Yeah, I think I had a bunch of help in that section from HR Sarah from our human resources, because she also reviewed this in addition. And I recall that language coming from her. So I can check into that though.
Yeah, because it's kind of off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd like to know what the reason is that we need to use that word.
Okay.
Those are my questions.
I don't really have too many questions. I think it's a great document. Really happy to see it. Thank you for all the work put in on it. I probably differ slightly in that I think this process worked out quite well. It was a lot to review, but I think staff did a wonderful job and I wouldn't personally have needed to be involved from a commission standpoint. But again, just a difference in opinion on that. My only question would be, is there anything that we did where we differed from SDAO's kind of standard template? Any policies that we changed or left out or anything like that?
I wouldn't say so. I found some areas where I don't think they did as good of a job in the way they wrote it. So I made it better than what they did. But no, I don't think there was anything.
I gotta be honest, I did not review page for page. When we come across paid leave Oregon or any of those, I assume that's state law and that's so, I kind of flipped through that thing to see what you'd done. And the only time I've ever seen, the way I've seen commissions evolve before is if you take the SDAO model policy and then line by line, see if we agree or don't agree. But in this choice, we just adopted it. That with the employees, so you'd either need the commission involved at the time. I don't feel like coming in and injecting something now because it's kind of a bargain. I mean, you don't have an official bargaining unit, but employees have reviewed it. You guys have agreed.
I will say the nice thing about having SDO issue the updates, similar to when I was on the school board, Oregon School Boards Association every year would issue their updated, here's the legal stuff that you need to now have in your policy. And similar to what Bob has done, in those cases, we would sometimes beef it up a little more for our district at the time. So we'll continue to look at those, and that's when I think as we do these updates, we'll make sure you guys are aware of those. If that's what you guys want to see, when we have the updates to the handle, we would bring to you every, whenever a year, I guess, that they do them annually.
We did eliminate team pay.
Yeah, that was, significant, bit of money that, just hasn't seemed appropriate for a while. It has been.
This is employee annual bonus program.
A couple of executive directors ago was implemented, and we tapered it off a little bit with the amount, and then I just didn't think it was appropriate for the timing. That would be something that we would bring to you guys if we brought it back in, if things were better, when times are better.
With that, I would move approval of resolution 2026-20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Thank you.
Maine in the hot seat.
Named in the hot seat, yeah.
Yes, yes. So we're looking at ordinance 2026-01. That's right. We've been on this for a while. So, staff report, this is on the second reading and enactment of our no fishing ordinance.
That's correct. And we saw this last month for the first reading of this thing in the public meeting, and now we're back for the second reading so we can enact the ordinance. Basically, I think the summary is that we've had a resolution in place saying no fishing at Scappoose Bay Marina for a long time, but it was sort of buried in the big document. And so we felt like a better way to do it was to just create an ordinance which has the effect of law, that there's a no fishing zone. And we have pictures if you'd like to see them. I have 2 pictures. So there's your no fishing zone, which is the floating boundary basically. And there are buoys out in the water. And we just think that having a clear ordinance like this will allow us to better enforce the no fishing. And the big reason we talked about last month is safety. There's a lot of safety issues with vessels launching, with people getting hooked by lures and things like that. And so that is the no fishing zone. And then slide. The fishing zone is everything from that blue line for the rest of the world. Straight away, everywhere else, just not in the marina.
State of Oregon might not agree.
Yes.
Is there any required reading of this, or is?
No, I don't have to actually read it, so they're doing it.
Even though we call it a reading, we don't read it.
Would make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-01.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion 2026-01 is carried. Executive Director report.
Thank you, commissioners. Morning. Got a couple pictures up there for you. We had a really nice visit with the Port of Klamath and the Port of Woodland week and a half ago. Got to go over and see Port of Klamath's spec building that they threw up in their Spencer Creek Business Park. And just for a little context and history, when I was at the Port of Klamath in 2010 through 2014, we were just laying infrastructure in that business park, putting pipes in the ground. And they hadn't even moved relocated the fairgrounds, which is right off of exit 30 there, exit 32, where you You go off to the east and they used to have an intersection there. The old highway went up and would go to Longview. They had the fairgrounds right there. Well, they moved that back by the river and put the infrastructure ground. Finally got a building here in the last year. They built this building, 24,000 square feet with demisable by 2,500 square foot increments with storefront doors for each of those 2,500 square feet. Utilities stubbed for every one of those locations, not knowing who might come. And then somebody might come and take half the building, they might take the whole building, but the foresight that they have is those companies can come and go. So company comes in with 20,000 square feet and then leaves in 7 to 10 years. Somebody then comes in and wants 2,500. The utilities are already there. They cut the concrete and they're ready to go. So they invested a lot and they paid cash because they can. And they have about 31 million in the bank. And then slowly pay themselves back. So they can sit on something like this and wait patiently. They have currently a dance studio in the back corner of the building, but a really nice, beautiful building. Slide.
That for a dance studio.
Yeah, but yeah, they're patient and they can do that. And they have a whole plan for other buildings in that same campus too. So the Columbia Business Alliance breakfast, that was really well attended. I was really surprised. Good turnout for that. I don't know why I was surprised, but it was during the middle of the day and I just figured a lot of people would be working, but a lot of people were there. The Power Task Force continues. If you don't know, that's a few of us getting together, the PUDs and some interested parties about trying to maintain and get more power here to the area. Working on how we approach BPA with some of that. Brian definitely has a lot more knowledge on some of that stuff, but yeah, we need more power. That's everybody needs to understand and know. And we're not alone. The country has got a power shortage due to, I think, AI and data centers and some different things that are happening. We need more power. So see if we can get that. I was going to say something I don't need to say, but went over and did some readings of some Kohai ads for boating safety and did a little Keep It Local interview with Cody James and Marty. I think that's airing, the ads, the boating safety ads and the ad for the paddle shack will continue to air. It says Matt, I talked with Michael Cavanaugh with Travel Oregon, trying to figure out how and if we can and help with the destination management organization. And he said that they're currently in the middle of the biennium. After July this year, he'll give me a call as they're starting to plan for the next year. But he did mention that the funds that were returned from CET to Travel Portland, we're a subset of Travel Portland out here, is maintained for Columbia County. So they're holding that. It's a little over $8,000 that sits there that they're hoping to apply back to a DMO. And I made sure he understood that we're just interested in helping. We don't necessarily need to be the long-term DMO. If the county decides it's something they want to do, we would happily, yield to them. We just didn't want to lose that money because we had so much synergies with Wella and the marina and stuff. So he was open to that. And we, like I said, we'll continue talking after the start of this next fiscal year in July. OPP business meeting. That's a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of blah, blah. It's a lot of information for us ports is how it relates to the legislations that have passed and catching up on all the port stuff. We do roundtable and things too. So slide, please. There's a picture of the outside of the business park. It's a split image there. Nice clouds there. Photo credit, Bob Salisbury. Yeah, very beautiful building they did. Like I said, you see all the storefronts and that's just big open space inside there. So they're ready. They're ready for whoever comes. Slide. Hey, there we are again. We'll form a few more pictures.
Do you have did you ask them how much it costs to have that building built?
Sure.
Be interesting a lot.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Because they, like I said, they overbuilt it, but
Sure.
They
built for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in with the Port of Woodland Executive Director. We toured his facilities as well. They're not positioned as well as Port of Cloud. They've done a lot over there. They're directly across the river from St. Helens. So, yeah, he was surprised when I said, yeah, there's our office down over there. He said, oh, we're that close. And you know, they've had some things go on. They've got some properties that they can develop and they're just kind of struggling being a little port and trying to, you know, having a small tax base and try to make things happen. But they've done some really good things. Bought and sold some properties, and they lament selling some because now they can't afford to buy some of the property they sold back. But yeah, they have some strategic properties sitting in between some areas right next to rail that's not theirs. And but yeah, he's going to do some really good things. He came from WPPA, Washington Public Ports Association, worked for them for several years. Chris Herman is his name. And we got to visit with him in DC as well. And there's a picture of the Columbia Business Alliance. We're all cheersing for prosperity. It is coffee for most of us, I think. Maybe some orange juice. No mimosas. Slide, please. Yeah, P&D, WA, CO lunch, which I didn't make. I meant that's on there. And I met with Betsy last Friday. We had a really good talk, and I talked to her about some prospects of, you know, just ideas of revenue generation out there, building some T hangars. And she mentioned, why don't you build a triple corporate hangar with some shared office and bathrooms, which is something that we talked about. And we may have some folks that may want to expand and would like to move into this bigger space potentially, but you know, Clayton Eveland had talked about doing some private hangars, so we can engage with him and see if he wants to do a lease model as opposed to his investors before had wanted to buy. But see if any of that's changed, some of his interests. And Robert had a lead on somebody that wanted to do that 10 or 15 years ago that we might see what their interest may be. So
Brought plans and also those are available somewhere.
yeah, okay. Slide. That's it. Okay. Do you see my schedule there coming up? I'm going to be off Friday and I'll be out next week. I'm taking Monday off, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be in Newport for PNWA annual meeting. And Friday is the Juneteenth holiday and the office will be closed. And then I'm taking the last week, 7/29 through 7/3 off. So I'll coordinate with everyone on that and let you guys know before I go and see if there's anything we can do. Independence Day, we're closed on the 3rd. The holiday's on the Saturday, the 4th, so the office will be closed on Friday, the 3rd. Any questions for me? Department?
Busy.
It's been busy. It's going to be a busy summer. We've got the airport closure going well, and I was excited to hear that we hadn't seen Lacey for a couple of days. Like, oh yeah, that's right, she's busy. What are you doing out there? No, we knew. And yes, you saw she's got some good images too, and we'll continue to track the progress there. And hopefully that project goes off without a hitch.
Get the bad weather out of the way now so we can pave.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's changing quickly this week.
Commissioner reports. Brian, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, read through the department reports. Happy to see we're doing what we can to help out the monastery with the timber harvest and keeping a tree barrier there, reestablishing some of it that was removed. It's not on our property, so I know we have some limitations, but having been up to the monastery a handful of times, I can see the benefit of keeping it quiet as possible up there. And then to the public comment, I think that'd be a great topic for the advisory committee to talk about in regards to no wake zones and guides. I know there's one guide on the advisory committee, responsible guide, leader in that, in his industry. So hopefully that's something where they can kind of police themselves and we can get some progress there to minimize any maintenance or damage caused by wakes.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that we have a no wake sign or not, but add it to the hundreds of signs out there maybe.
There's definitely a buoy.
Yeah.
And people don't always follow those rules. And everybody looks at no wake a little differently, whether it's a foot, 6 inches. It's impossible to have zero wake. So I think just a discussion around that, some level setting. Some people take the 5 mile per hour to be the rule, not the no wake part of it. And it's really a both. So.
Robert?
Just enjoyed, had time with Sean and Bob and Chris Heford yesterday, a series of meetings. And was able to tag along on it. It went very well. I'm pleased with the progress that we're making with the beaver drainage folks to update the bylaws to something that's a little more manageable and workable for everybody. So have nothing to do with it. I'm just happy to see that they're having progress with it. I appreciate that.
You guys directed us to do it.
Yeah, very interested in the marina and continuing to be involved in that, and really appreciate your comments today. These are the kind of things we need to hear. These are the kind of things we need to pursue. And because I live on the river, I'm so aware of the wake. And the big problem, I think everywhere, is enforcement. How do we get the county to enforce these rules? Because rules mean nothing if no one follows them, and no one follows them because they're not enforced. So how do we encourage the county to participate actively in enforcing these rules? And it's a hard one because it's all about money. But, you know, that's what we need.
I do know that it's been forced out and say no, because I know a guy that got ticket out there. He said, I'm not gonna do that either.
Yes, you see, and that's the whole point. The enforcement is worthwhile because it makes an impression. When you're paying a fine that big, you are going to not repeat that mistake, I would assume. So I just really like you to see us have a conversation with the sheriff's department and see if we can encourage them to participate in enforcing the rules that are already on the books.
And do, yeah.
I have nothing at this point. So, are we going to have an executive session or not?
We do not need to have the executive.
Okay, so if there is nothing else before us today,
Wow.
we'll entertain a motion to,
Adjourn
okay, yes, we are adjourned.
at 9:17. Holy moly.